Hello, everyone. Welcome to Berwick Barbershop podcast, which we will be calling Berwick Talks. And our show is based off community awareness, community coaching, and more things to come. So we have two special guests with us, Coach Vaught, which is our head football coach at Tequila High School, and we also have Coach Wilson, which is the head basketball coach at Tequila High School. And we like to welcome them. But you're welcome. But before we start, we like to give out a couple of sponsorships, which is Gregory Levin and Sons Turner Home, Fussel's Cake Company, and Publix on Tequila Road. So as we start, we like to start with Coach Vaught, and welcome.
Hey, great to be here. Again, love those public subs. I always pick one up on Fridays.
Coach Wilson.
Love public subs. I like the chicken fingers too.
Oh, they good too. I like them. And I also like to give a shout out to Miss Olivia, which is a manager over there at Publix. She's a nice lady. She's always around, and she's very welcoming to everyone that comes in. So, Coach Vaught, we'd like to start with you today. I know you're the head coach at Tequila for football.
Yes, sir.
So, I just want to hear more about the program. Tell us how you.
Well, this is my second year. So again, there's ups and downs with any new job, and again, last year we started the season off 1-3, and then turned around and we're a Final Four team. Unfortunately, we're 1-3 as well to start. So hopefully we'll have the same finish as last year.
Okay. That's just trials and tribulations, but we get through it.
They make us better.
That's right. Coach Wilson, tell us about the program.
I've been there, been at Tequila. This is year 11. Started off again in the program as, just assistant. Then went to ninth grade, head coach, head JV, still assistant with varsity. About 4.5, almost 5 years ago, took over the varsity program. So just been building.
Okay. And Coach Vaught, to you, I know you say your record is 1-3. Mm-hmm. Now you have some great upcoming games.
Yeah, I mean, we're again, we have a huge game this week against Denmark. They're a 7A playoff team from last year. Have a really good program. They're trying to do things the right way as they're building their program. And then after that, then we get into region play. And we probably played, again, you could argue it's the best region in the state of Georgia and possibly the best region in the United States. We go right into region play. You go from Mountain View to Central Gwinnett, and then we wrap up the season then with Collins Hill, Buford, and Mill Creek. So again, really strong schedule to round the season.
Okay. Now in football, what the country says, it starts with Texas, Florida, Georgia, and then Gwinnett County. Now that's big football. When you have your own program or your own big-time football players just coming out of a county, not the state of Georgia, which is part of it, but just Gwinnett itself to be ranked high in the top 4 of those 3 states. How do you feel about that?
Well, again, you look again, and you start looking at the national level, the recruiting landscape. Again, there's basically, there's teams that say, hey, you spend your time in California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia, you got a chance. But again, I was telling Coach Wilson, last spring during the recruiting evaluation period, we had 109 FTS programs walk through our doors to evaluate our players. And so, 109 schools aren't spending their money coming through Gwinnett County just because. I mean, there's good players and there's really good coaches.
Okay. Now, out of the scholarships that's given to these kids through your coaching, tell me how you feel about that, or recruits.
Well, recruiting has changed drastically in the past 2 years. Again, the first thing that happened was COVID. So what the NCAA did is any college athlete got their year back and they retained an extra year. Well, the high school kids didn't have that luxury. So all of a sudden you have colleges that again, what we're calling super seniors. A kid might be in college for 6 years, where normally they're 4 to 5 years. Now all of a sudden they're in college for 6 years. So there was less spots available for high school kids. Okay. So that was kind of strike one against high school recruiting, and then strike two is the transfer portal. So now you have kids that are, are unhappy or feel like they didn't get the opportunity they wanted at the college they're at. Well, now they're transferring. And so as a college coach, I mean, again, I lived that life. A college transfer, the kid's already proven that he can handle college level academics. He's already figured out how to handle college life, and he's already played against college level competition. So, do you take a high school kid or a college transfer kid? Well, again, you're a lot of times you're net transfer. And so now all of a sudden a high school kid has 2 strikes against them before they've done anything. And so it's really changed the landscape of recruiting. And so a lot of times kids in years past, hey, that kid be a group of 5 or a power 5 type of player, all of a sudden it's falling down a tier because again, those schools have the option to take transfers.
Okay. Coach Wilson, I got a couple questions for you.
Okay.
So tell me about your career of coaching basketball.
Okay. So I prior to high school, I did an AAU program. I started an AAU program really for my sons. I saw some things out there I wasn't really comfortable with, so decided to start a program which was able to not only help them but help a lot of young men. And from that program, it's interesting. The 2021 class, there's a good handful of kids that have signed scholarships and gone on to play college basketball. And I had those kids back when they were in the 2nd and 3rd grade. So that was, that's been great to see all of those young men go on and play. But so I did that, had an opportunity to get into the high school basketball coaching. I was, doing some other things. I was teaching college level stuff, but I decided I wanted to get back in K through 12. I wanted to coach high school basketball. So got that opportunity and actually got that opportunity to get into high school basketball at the Q.
Okay. This question could be for both of you. By you coaching basketball and football, which is 2 major sports in any high school, how do you feel about the development as a father figure, a mentor on these kids?
Well, it's the Q is a great community, but you still have kids that don't have a male role model in the home, and so I try to make sure that I present myself in a way that kid possibly would say, hey, I want to grow up and be like Coach Vaught. And that's something that to me you have to show them and model what a man is.
That's right.
Our society as a whole, the definition of manhood's changed over the years, and unfortunately, our kids, they look at social media for what a man is, and that's not what a man is.
That's right.
And so a big thing we try to do within our program is teach them what a man is. Whether they don't have it at home or in some cases, they have a dad at home, but he's not doing a very good job being a man.
Okay.
And so I think it's important for them to see and hear what a man is.
I like that.
Yeah, for us, we coined the phrase, we use the acronym SOUL, servanthood, ownership, unity, a larger purpose. And so we teach them those foundational things. And I think as a man, the first thing you need to learn to do is to serve, as a husband, as a father, as somebody in the community, you have to be able to serve others and be able to put others before yourself. And that's a big tenet in team sports. So we build that into them. And so we try to get them to learn as freshmen, hey, how to serve. We never lose those things, So then you learn how to own, how do you own things? Is it, so not my fault, it's not my fault, it's that and the other. Learn how to own things and take responsibility, and then unity and togetherness. How do you pull people together? And then the larger purpose piece of that is I tell my kids all the time, it's not about you. It's not about you. And getting men to understand that it's hard for us because we got egos, right?
That's right.
But it's not about you, dude. And sometimes I have to look in the mirror and say to myself, hey, Byron, it's not about you, And so teaching these young men that's a day-to-day thing that I really, get up for and enjoy doing.
Okay. And I respect that too. And what I do as myself, I use my chair as a tool to get into these kids' head, which we all know is important. Some they don't, like you said, they don't have a father at home, and some do have a father at home. So, but still, our job as men, we have to even delegate and tell these guys what they have to do. and because they don't know. So I use my chair as a tool to get into their head and see what they want to do, or what they want to do, or what's going on at home. So a lot of them cry. There's a lot of grown men here to talk about relationships. It's just, it's a lot going on with it. So I respect what you two guys do. And I hope we can continue to stay in their head and do what they want. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna continue this, but we're gonna take our first break and we can come back with some more questions and some great answers. So on our, I want to give a shout out to Berwick Barbershop, Kim's Cupcake Factory, Dean Thompson over there at Magoo's. And tell me about Magoo's real quick. How you feel about Magoo's?
Well, like I said, the chicken's good, and again, I really enjoy, Dean Thompson, the owner of it, came by the school last week to visit with us and see what we're doing on a day-to-day operation in the football facility. And, a lot of the things that he's trying to do is teach young people how to be grown-ups and how to be men, which is a big part of both of our programs. And so I really appreciate him taking the time to come and spend basically an afternoon with us and see what our guys do on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet Dean and his family. They were going out. We talked a little bit just about again, similar to what Coach Mike said, just talking about the kids and just really we talked a lot about how the pandemic, how it affected the socialization of kids. And just I was very impressed with just some of the things that they want to do in the community. That's what I respect that a lot.
Okay. And one more thing about Dean. When I first met Dean Thompson, he was very welcoming. What I saw, he was doing the right thing. He gave a lot of food to the kids. He even fed Chick-fil-A. What company would come and feed his competitor? So it's about 30 people in there sitting there eating Magoo's. And so right there made me want to go back and continue to support Magoo's and Dean Thompson.
Well, and I think a big part of it is with any company or any team, your employees, your players, they need to see how you serve and how you treat other people properly. And that's something that's important, and Dean understands that, and that's why his companies, everything he's done is done well.
Okay, well, we're going to come back and we're going to take this break. And just hold on, we'll be right back.
Commercial, man.
Just keep on.
We're rolling.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome back to the Berwick Talks. So we got a few more questions, coaches. And like I said, thank you for coming. I respect it and I appreciate it. So I got another question for you, Coach Wilson. Now, look, I see right here you went to Hillside, which is in North Carolina.
Hillside High School, Durham, North Carolina.
Okay. Did you play basketball there?
I did. I played a little bit of basketball. I was one of those kids, and one of the things that kind of makes me tick is I was one of those kids that raised by my mom, raised by a single mom, just out and about all the time, got into a lot of stuff. So played more travel basketball than I did high school basketball, just because I couldn't keep myself out of trouble like I was supposed to. Got an opportunity. One of the AE coaches I was dealing with got a chance to go to St. Augustine's College and was able to walk on and play for a couple of years at St. Aug. And so always had basketball, just always been in my blood. And just, some of the opportunities that I look at with kids nowadays, giving them an opportunity to actually play. I tell my sons all the time, like, they probably played more basketball by the time they were in high school than I played in my whole life because they've been around it so much that they're able to travel the country and do a lot of different things because I'd seen what it looked like and wanted to make sure they had those opportunities.
Great job. And now I want to ask you a question. Now, you was in Carolina, North Carolina.
Yes.
What's the better school, Duke or North Carolina?
UNC all day long. UNC all day long.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, give me a little preseason basketball talk from the coach and from Decuba.
Okay. So we're gonna have a really good season. I'm excited about the season. We've got a group of kids who just put their head down and work. I mean, they work. We're not fluffy. We're gonna be that blue collar team. We're gonna go out and we're gonna outwork other folks. We got some talented kids. I've got a senior guard who's already signed, going to Reinhardt. you know, and he's going to be really good in leading our team. We've got a talented junior class. We've got another senior who is going to be bouncing back off of shoulder surgery, but be ready to go. And I'm excited to get these guys in the gym and get them on the court because we're going to outwork teams. I mean, that's the best I can give it. You're going to outwork. We're not going to worry about the stat sheet, who gets what. We're just going to go out and we're going to outwork people every night.
Okay, I got a question. Is it okay to say work hard on defense and rest on offense?
We're not going to rest at all. We're going to go.
Okay.
We wide open, pedal to the metal, but we definitely we hang our hat on our defense.
Okay.
And we got a little preview of it this summer. The GHSA recruiting camp. We went 3-1 in that event. Had an opportunity, and I was really pleased with the way that our guys played. And I think that's where my point guard picked up that offer. Got a chance to see the first game he played in that event. Coach came over and whispered to me, said, "We're gonna offer it." So yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Coach Watt. Now you said you've been coaching 23 years.
Yes, sir.
21 of that was college.
Yes, sir.
So tell me more about it. Tell me how you feel about it.
You know, again, you're having an impact on players. And again, the biggest, I guess, difference at the college level, you sit under a shade tree.
Okay.
At the high school level, you plant the seed, you cultivate the soil, you water it, you watch it grow, and watch it develop, and allow that college coach then to have the finished product. And so again, the need of the kids is totally different. At the college level, you know, the kids don't want to hang out and spend time with it. They want to hustle back, go to the dorm, go to the apartments, go to the cafeteria, whatever. At the high school level, those kids, they need you. They want you. And so, again, the impact is just so different. Again, this is my third year at the high school level, and again, I enjoy having that impact and that opportunity to again, open some doors that maybe wouldn't have gotten opened because of my connection with college football.
Okay. Now you played high school football as well.
Yes, sir.
What position did you play?
Well, I played, linebacker and offensive line in high school. My dad was my coach in high school. And then, I went to college and played college ball, played defensive line in college. And then, again, as I got done with the college playing college, I wanted to pursue college coaching. And like I said, 21 years later in 6 different states, as I was at 6 different universities, it was a pretty good experience.
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback off the question I asked Coach Wilson. Now, by you being in Pennsylvania, growing up in Pennsylvania, what was the better team, Philly or Pittsburgh?
It was scary. Well, it's not even a topic. I mean, there's no question about that one at all.
That's right, but I would throw Cowboys in there too.
Well, again, the Steelers beat the Cowboys each time they played them, so so again, you can count the rings. But again, my college experience, again, my position, coach in college, played for the Steelers for 14 years,
Okay.
and so having that experience in college and him shedding the inner workings of the Rooney family, what the Steelers are about, and that background, just kind of maybe even respect what they do even more.
Okay. Now, this is local. Tell me more about Mercer. How was your experience at Mercer?
But again, when like I came into DeKalb, there's already a culture set. There's already traditions set. There's already a standard of expectations are set. Well, at Mercer, you started from scratch, and on top of it, we brought in again. I think the first year we brought in like 90 freshmen, and all those freshmen, none of them had a clue what college football is supposed to be like, and so you had to train them just on day-to-day operation from everything. And so, it was a lot of work to kind of get that started. And Bobby Lamb, who was the head coach there, he is now a close personal friend of mine. I mean, we'll always be friends. Again, I worked for him for 9 years. And so we did a lot of neat things. Everything we did was a first.
Okay.
Everything. I mean, from the first pregame meal to the first game to the first practice, everything was a first. And again, when I took the job, literally we were, the offices were in the old gun range in the basement of the basketball arena. And I mean, and you went from that to having an actual facility of your own. So it was a neat experience.
Okay, Coach Wilson. As I look, you say you plan on having a pretty good season. Well, the tip-off class. Tell me about the tip-off class.
So we do a Tequila Tip-Off Classic, and this is we do girls and boys. Typically, it's been a situation where it's just a tournament format with 18 boys and girls. We currently have switched it to a showcase. We have more teams who want to get in. If I'm not mistaken, this year we got 11 boys teams, 11 girls teams. 3 days of just pure basketball. Come in and we just play local flavor. You got Mountain View that'll come and play. And like you mentioned earlier, Padea, they played it in the past few years. We got Padea boys again. And then you get girls side, you got Mountain View, you got Mill Creek. So it's just a great event. It's November 19th, 21st, and 22nd. It's just pure basketball.
Okay. With that being said, we're going to take another break. And I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors again. We'd like to give Ted Hayes Automotive a shout out. That's in Tequila. We thank you for everything that you do, how you support Tequila high schools, boys and girls, football, basketball, and all their sports over at Tequila High School. Also want to give out a shout out of one of my dear friends, Greg Carantero with Livingstone. Great guy. He's straight up. He's fair in everything you do. So
Great both my realtor and with Casey's realtor as well.
yes, he is a big time realtor. So let's give a shout out to Greg Cantrell. Also, we want to talk about Ramp. Ramp is Marlon Allen. He's a clothing apparel store. He does your t-shirts. He does anything for the high schools, whether it be a shirt like this, t-shirts,
Uniforms.
He does it all.
everything. And his turnaround time is great. If it need to be done in a week, it's done in a week. Where some companies it takes months, he has it back to you within a week, which is good. So let's also thank him and for his services that he does for the high school. And also, we want to give out a shout out to MADF,
which is Make a Difference Foundation. Donovan Corey is I guess he's the president of that company and that foundation. They do a great job sponsoring people who may not have opportunities otherwise.
Okay.
He football and basketball.
Football and
Supports
basketball.
both programs, yes.
Okay. You think he could do a referee uniform? So let's start. We go to him. So we want to support these sponsors. Also, back to you, Coach Watt. Tell me about the Hawaii Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, talk about neat opportunity again. You know, as a coach, and again, you always want to play in the national championship. But I guess if there's a consolation game, we had to play in the Hawaii Bowl. You know, and you go to Hawaii at Christmas time for 7 days.
So you had to.
Yeah, we had to. So, you know, again, you know, but if you're like I said, if you're not going to play in a national championship game, that's the bowl you want to be in. So, like you said, we had a nice time with that. And that was oh boy, I guess it was 2001, 2002, so a long time ago.
Okay.
It was a neat opportunity again when I was at Tulane University out in New Orleans. So.
Okay. Now, earlier we talked about Youngstown State.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that kind of hit my heart.
Yeah, Youngstown State's a great place. You know, again, a community where, I mean, football is it. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, you felt bad for the other teams, coach. I mean, they didn't care about nobody but football. I mean, but again, it's a football place. I mean, you walk into the Publix and they want to talk football. You know, again, my wife hated it because, like, she tried to go to the doctor, and the doctor didn't want to treat her. He wanted to talk football with her. And she's like, I don't know nothing about it. Just you need to see my husband, you know. But again, it was a neat place because that football is that community, and you know, really neat place. Had an opportunity to coach the tight ends there. Had a great group of kids, and you know, it sounds crazy because you develop kids and develop relationships. You know, I still talk to 3 of those kids that were on that team on a regular basis.
Okay. And Jim Tressel.
Yeah, Coach Tress is well.
Ohio
Coach
State.
Tress was at Ohio State at that one time, but again, he started his career at Youngstown State, and then He's currently the president at Youngstown State, is going to retire here at the end of the school year.
Okay, so let's say hey and thanks to Coach Jim Tressel.
All our people back in Ohio.
That's right, go Buckeyes. But Coach Wilson, how long do you plan on coaching high school basketball?
Yeah, that's a good question. Long as I can go. How long that'll be, as long as I have passion for young people, I plan on coaching. It's funny, my position changed a little bit this year, and they tried to get me into the administrative role, and I told them no because they want to allow me to coach an admin role. So it kind of got me part-time doing some different things, but I plan on retiring in a coaching role. How much longer that is? My baby girl is in the 4th grade, so that's what 8-9 years before she's a senior. But I don't see myself not coaching at this point. So I see quite a few years left. I want to leave. I want to leave a legacy. And it's not about me, but I want to leave a legacy here in Decula. And when somebody says Decula basketball, they can't say that without Coach Wilson's name coming up and the young men that have come through that program. Something that was, it's interesting. I'll say this: they just did a back in July. They did a called it Legacies of a Lifetime. Is the group that did it, but a Gwinnett County alumni tournament that was there at Decula High School, and it was great to see all those guys on that Decula team to come back and see them play. And it just reminded me of the rich heritage that school has and just all the love that was shown. So I just want to carve out a piece of that. But I wanted to be kind of a little selfish, but I want to probably be the most important piece.
I like that. Coach, would you do that in football? Like he did basketball with the Legacy tournament. Would you do a football?
I think it'd be kind of a cool thing to do. I mean, we started an alumni golf tournament, and like I say, in year one, and then this was year 2 of it, trying to get to know our players. I'm not from Gwinnett, and again, I don't have the ties to the Gwinnett or to Decula, but I'm trying to rekindle and bring those guys back on campus as much as I can. It's kind of neat. We have 23 kids. Well, some of them are now men, but they're still playing football, 2 in the NFL, the other one's all in college. And I want to make sure those guys are welcome to come use our facilities, use the stadium, use the weight room as they come back in town. And so, it's been neat kind of meeting those guys that come back. Because, again, I only coached this last year's group. Again, trying to rebuild those relationships with those guys. Because, again, I didn't get the chance to coach those guys.
Okay. Now, speaking of the program, your facilities, are they the state of the art?
I'm sorry?
Are they the state of the art?
Well, I mean, we spent a big chunk of money last year in our weight room. Our field house is I guess about 20 years old, so it was due. And so last summer we spent a lot of money in our weight room, replaced all of our power racks, floors, ceilings, walls, all that was replaced or repainted. Started that process in our locker rooms. Because again, like I said, it was 15 years old, and I don't want our kids to walk in and say, well, it's old. Because again, if they walk in and they think it's old, then it's not good.
Okay.
Again, obviously, I never want to trample on any traditions. But again, we've been doing a lot of upgrading around our facilities in the 2 years I've been here at Decula.
Okay, now I see the football field. It looks excellent. I like how it's just open. It's a full football field. Sometimes I want to go out there and just run on it, but I like that it's all coming together. I think this is something that can build more players or come to Decula High School.
Well, and that's like, our numbers, again, when I took over the program, there was 86 kids in the program, and today we're 146 in 2 years' time. And so, again, now that we're 7A, I'd like that number to be in the 160s.
Okay.
So again, there's still plenty of room to grow, and this is where, again, I've already mentioned, locker room space wise, I have every locker occupied. So, Again, we're going to do something that if we get it where I want it to be numbers wise, we're going to do something with locker space.
Okay. Oh, I want to talk about a player, Garrison. Tell me about Garrison and DJ.
Well, like I said, we're playing two young quarterbacks. Both are really talented. Garrison Cantrell is a freshman, and then DJ Core is a sophomore. Both of them have different things that are their strengths, and I'm big. Let's focus on strengths, not weaknesses. And so both of them bring a different element to our game, and so we're trying to use both those guys. It just is hard to do because again, you only have so many snaps in a game, but again, try to feature each one of their strengths to allow us to get things rolling. Again, last week, our win against Tucker, I don't know if it was 50-50, but it was pretty balanced with the reps they were getting. And again, as we move forward, I think that's kind of the direction we're headed, trying to get them both more playing time.
Okay, Coach Wilson, we're going to take a break, and then we'll be back for our final segment.
Correct.
Okay, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors again. I want to give out a shout out to Gregory B. Levitt and Sons Funeral Home, which is 4 locations here in the Atlanta area. Fussel's Cake Company, which is 1205 Winder Highway, Suite 8. Publix again. I love me some Publix. I just want to continue to talk about Publix. And Miss Olivia over there on the Cula Road. Berwick Barbershop, which is 1205 Winder Highway, Suite B. We open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday from 9 to 6, Saturday 7 to 3, and Sunday 12 to 5. I also want to give a shout out to Kim's Cupcake Factory. Best, I call them donuts, but the best cupcakes in the world. So in Magoo's, Dean Thompson, Magoo's Chicken over here on the
Kill Road, yes, sir.
Okay. Ted Hayes Automotive.
Mr. Hayes is great for Gwinnett County. His company sponsors, I think, pretty much all the schools in Gwinnett County. But one of the biggest things he talks about is serving and leading with us as coaches. Again, and it's one of the things that he wants us to instill in our players. Again, he actually hired one of our players last year. He's working for him now. They're at one of his stores there in, I guess it's Lawrenceville.
Okay. Thanks again, Ted Hayes. Also, we want to give a shout out to Greg Cantrell at Livingston Realtors, which is a great guy. He'll help you any way he can. He's fair and honest. So we just want to really give him a shout out too. Also, Marlon Allen. Tell me more about Marlon again.
Marlon, was originally from Columbus, Georgia. Moved his family here to Gwinnett County about 15 years ago. But he had an opportunity to play professional baseball, and he again does a lot. He's actually the president of our booster club with the football program. But again, very active. He leads for us again. On Wednesdays we do. It's called Falcons in the Faith. Leads that for us on Wednesday after practice, sharing with our boys a little bit about. Obviously the Bible, but also, again, more importantly, what it is to be a man. And so, again, I appreciate him being involved in that with us on Wednesdays. But then, again, he helps us out. Our school and our program uses Under Armour products, which is a great product. But a lot of times with the supply chain issues we're running into, I can't get materials for our players in a timely fashion. And Lauren's able to get us, T-shirts and shorts in a very timely manner, and again, so we're thrilled to have him a partner of us in a lot of different shapes for us.
Okay, Marlon, thanks for helping us out at Decula High School, and we support and appreciate everything you do for us. Also, I want to give out a shout out to Make a Difference.
That's Make a Difference Foundation Incorporated is Donovan Quarry is the president of that foundation. They do a great job, again, providing opportunities for kids that wouldn't have an opportunity otherwise through scholarships. They have a lot of different things they do. But again, they provide kids here in Gwinnett County opportunities.
Okay. One thing about our sponsors, we thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for supporting our community. Because without you, there'd probably be no us.
And so you guys know too, so again, Gwinnett County does not support financially our athletic programs. So again, you know, the sponsorships is critical for us to do the things we want to do. Like, you know, you're asking about, you know, facility upgrades. Well, where did that money come from? That was fundraised through our booster club, because Gwinnett County doesn't support the programs. And so, again, you know, we couldn't do what we do without our sponsors.
Okay, thanks again, sponsors. What I want to ask too, before we end the show, Coach Wilson, is to you. Now, as we go on and develop our players to make them young men, do you also make them do community work?
Yes, we try to make sure we do things in the community. When COVID hit, we slowed that down a bit, obviously. But prior to that, actually, right around the corner here, we volunteered Streetwise. We've done that, and we plan on doing that again here this year, coming into the season, doing a little bit with Streetwise. We've also done voter registration drives, those types of things. So it's very important. That's part of the servanthood piece to me, is for our young men to get out in the community and understand that we have to give back to your community. You have to take care of everyone. And, you know, sometimes there's older folks in the community. There was a gentleman by the name of Billy Higgins here in the community that used to come to our games, and I mean religiously. He would be at home games. He would be at, you know, we'd go to Wind the Barrel, he'd be at that game. And so, you know, I didn't know who he was, and so just one night went up and went to speak to him and just find out who he was. And it became a little bit of a tradition that whenever he came to the game, I would send the guys over to make sure that they went and shook his hand during warm-ups. And that has made his day. And come to find out later on, Mr. Higgins he played a professional tennis player at one point in his life. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, that's very important to me and to the program, is that we get out and we serve our community.
Okay, Coach.
We do a lot of our stuff through the Tequila Athletic Association. Our park is across the street from the high school. You know, again, we've done a chain gang. We're doing we call it Sunday Fun Day, where the kids come over on Sundays, and very simple. We're just teaching football fundamentals. You know, how to block, how to tackle, how to take care of the ball, and how to disrupt the ball. And those fundamentals are critical. But a lot of our kids, you know, they played football at Tequila Park. And so it's an opportunity to, like, hey, I used to sit right where that kid sat, and I used to sweat right where that kid's sweating, and I used to cry right where that kid's crying at. And so, again, we're doing a mentoring program with those kids and our kids, trying to help them understand that, hey, you can make it over. And, you know, this past summer we had 6 guys that are either current or former NFL players that all came back and did our summer camp with us. And so, you know, again, like Alex Armour, for example, you know, he played at Tequila Park, and then he played at Tequila Middle School, and then Tequila High School, and then he went on to play at West Georgia, and then he's been in the NFL now for 6 seasons. And, you know, for those kids to see that hey, those goals and those dreams at that age, those can become goals, and they are attainable, I think is really important for those kids to see. You know, so, and again, you know, some of the kids, you know, hey, man, going on and playing college ball, playing NFL is really cool. But also, they're starting to see, hey, some of these kids, you know, they're going to be good citizens, good people, good role models, and that's a big part of building our community.
Okay.
Yeah. And then shout out to Alex. Alex also played basketball when he was at Tequila.
Okay.
I would say his senior year was my first year there. Just really good dude. And I think just, you know, we also do some camps, and we do a lot of clinics and stuff. Matter of fact, before I came over today, we did a clinic for the 4th through 7th graders, boys and girls, just as they're trying to get ready for their for the regular season stuff, for the GBL, the Tequila Elite stuff. So it's all about community. I think one thing we didn't talk about a lot, and Coach Rock and I do a lot of this, is the sharing of players. You know, I think it's important in a school like this to be able to do that. So we have a lot of kids in common. We have a lot of kids that do play basketball and, you know, football and basketball. So I think that's really important when you have a community this size, to make sure that obviously we have our particular sport that we're over, and obviously we want that to be our kid, but one kid that comes to mind right now, but well, two kids honestly, Noah Anye and DJ Tisdale are two that I mean are big for him on the football field. But as soon as they're done, I'll be chomping at the bit. I'll be like, hey man, those are two key guys going into this year. Obviously I want them to go as far as they can go. But as soon as they're done, they get a day to rest and then they come back. I'm joking about the day. I'll give them a week.
Okay, few more questions. Far as when you prepare for your strategy in your game day, do you have the kids dress up coming to games, or mainly for you, coach? Because I know it's hard with football.
So for us, it's a little different this year. So in the past, I've kind of let them kind of do their own thing. But one of the things that we're looking at this year, that's why I say this group is different, is we want to be different, and part of that is how you look. So what we'll do is when we go on the road, they will wear their travel. We have a warm up suit that they'll wear their travel warm up. They don't get to wear whatever they want. They're gonna wear a branded warm up, because it's 2 feet in for Tequila Sports. And on home game days, they're gonna wear shirt and tie.
I like that, coach.
Wear shirt and tie. Yeah.
Because to me, just me speaking, it gives kids a different mindset. It takes the game more serious. I coached high school as well, and I also coached middle school. So every game, I had them dress. And I swear, when they played, it was just a different level. It had them think, I am somebody. I'm not here to just play basketball. I'm here to play basketball along with my dress, but to win. So that's why I asked you earlier, and this is how I taught them, play hard on defense and rest on offense, because the game will expose itself. So that's why I asked you that question. So it all goes in the same boat. So I appreciate you for that. And Coach, by you having so many, it's kind of hard for you.
Correct, and so we just basically we issue their I don't do a travel suit because again with football the temperature's a little different, but we do basically a hoodie and tequila gear. But again, the way our games are, like for example, our last home game was, last road game was at Tucker, which is a 30-minute bus ride. We actually put on our game pants. And we carry our helmet and shoulder pads because again it's such a short trip. Right. Our next road game's at Mountain View. You're 15 minutes and we'll actually wear our gear to the away games because again it's a short trip.
Okay, now I got another question. Far as game day or before the game, like say after school, that's a better way to say after school program. Do you have a guest speaker come in and talk to the kids?
We do. I mean, we have as part of our pregame meal. Again, we'll have different. Again, some of the sponsors you've talked about. Sometimes they'll sponsor the meal, and I asked them if they sponsor the meal, I'd like them to come speak to the team. And so, Hebrew Church did our last one here. Last game, and so again they had. I'm trying to remember. Pastor Landon came and spoke to the team. Again, it's whoever sponsors that meal comes and speaks to the team on that Friday night.
I like that. Not only are they sponsoring, they also is involved.
Yeah. Well, he said, I want to feed them, but I also want to pour into them.
Okay.
And so again, those people come and pour into them and share a message of motivation, encouragement. Again, that's great. We get that from our community coming back to us.
Okay. Well, this is it. And we're about to close our show on Berwick Talks, and we'd like to thank Coach Vortigern, head football coach at Tequila High School.
Go Falcons.
Go Falcons. Coach Wilson, I have seen you in action. You're a motivator, inspirational guy, and I like what you do for the program. Coach, I love what you do for the program. It's a beginning of something to
That's right.
come great. So,
well, Tequila community, I'm going to come right to you right now, okay? We have a home game this coming Friday against Denmark High School. And so I need you to be there, be loud, and bring the juice.
That's right. So, anything you want to say before we close out, Coach?
I'll be there Friday.
And you know what? I'll be there too. So look, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors one more time. Like I said, Gregory B. Levin and Sons Funeral Home, which we have 4 locations here in the Atlanta metropolitan area. We'd like to also give a shout out to Fussel's Cake Company, which is great food. I think they're only open from Wednesday to Saturday, but once you eat it, you will be back. So also I want to give Publix on Decatur Road, which definitely supports the community. I want to say thanks to Miss Olivia again. Thank you, Miss Olivia. Berwick Barbershop, 1205 Widener Highway. I am the barber, one of them. Thank you for coming, supporting us. We open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday, 7 to 3, and Sunday, 12 to 5, where the difference is in the cut. Also, I want to give a shout out to Miss Kim at Kim's Cupcake Factory. Best cupcakes I've ever had. I mean, asked her one time for upside down pineapple cake. She came with a cupcake, so I tell you, I've been hooked since. Also, Dean Thompson at Huey Magoo's. It's a great chicken spot, chicken tenders, fries. What I was impressed about them too was the potato chips.
Yeah.
It was different. That was very different. So I want to say thanks, Dean. Ted Hayes Automotive. Thank you for helping these kids and doing all that you do, Ted. We really, really appreciate you. Greg Cantrell over in Livingston, Realtors. If you need a house or some type of realtor, Greg can find it for you. So we want to give a shout out to him as well. We also want to do ramp. Marlon Allen Clothing, which he supports the school on sports. So let's support him in the Decatur area and beyond if we can. And this Make a
Make a
Difference.
Difference Foundation with Donna Corey.
That's right, Donovan Corey. Thank you for doing what you do for the community as well. So this is the end of our show today. Like I said, I want to thank Coach Vaughn. Thank you. You're welcome. Coach Wilson. Hey guys, I appreciate what you do for this community. Don't stop, continue. And the more you do, it's only going to build up more. Thank you. Thanks for stopping, coming by. Berwick Talks. Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you. Go Falcons.